Welcome to Vegan Ultra. I'm your inspiration guide, Adam Gallus, on this epic quest of health, hope, and happiness in which I lose 150 pounds in 12 months on a whole food vegan diet while walking 3,000 miles in a weighted vest to prove to myself, my family, and everybody watching on YouTube that we can all become the ultra versions of ourselves if we give it a chance and are powered by plants. This is the weekly weigh-in edition, and oh my, what a cause of celebration. This is Super Bowl jobs report, NVIDIA earnings blowout edition. 7.7 pounds lost. Now you might be wondering, how on earth do you lose 8 pounds? Having already lost over 100 pounds in just a few months. So this is actually because I was sick this week. Now, remember how a few weeks here we have big weight gains, and some weeks where it's a 1 pound gain and a 0.6 pound gain. And how is that possible when you're looking at around 1,500, 2,000 calorie daily deficits? Well, this, as I explained in those weeks, according to my medical team, including my personal trainer, is because as we ramp up the intensity and alter the weight training, this is causing my body to adapt, add more muscle, retain more water. So that is messing with the numbers. So if you recall last week, the 1 month weekly average was 1 pound per week. That's now up to 3.2, close to the average that I've been doing for the last 32 weeks. Now, what this is basically showing us is that being sick and, on the advice of my medical team, not doing pretty much any exercise, this allowed my body to completely recover, but then it shed all that extra water that I've been carrying for the last few weeks. So what this means is next week, most likely, I'm going to see a gain of a pound or two, possibly even 3, because of course I will be getting back to training. So my medical team says I should be good to go on Monday. So we're talking about starting with that 15-pound weighted vest. Now you notice here how the tracking numbers, this is if I lose just 1.8 pounds per week from here on out, I get to my goal of 150 pounds. So what are these green numbers here? Well, since we're up to a 15-pound weighted vest per my trainer's advice and my doctor's signing off, I am going to try this week to walk only 25 hours Monday through Friday, 2.5 marathons worth with the vest plus the weight training on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then next week, 26 hours, 27 hours, 28 hours, 29, all the way up to a maximum here of 33 hours. Why? Because this is basically spread out throughout the week, giving my Saturdays and Sundays for 2 full recovery days, while getting me to 105 miles of walking. That is 4 marathons. Not 1 ultra marathon, 2 ultra marathons, 4 marathons. That's right, 105 miles in a single week, 15 miles a day, plus the weight training. Truly ultra athletics, especially in today's America. And this, by the way, would be with a 40-pound weighted vest. Just in case you're wondering, by the 1-year veganversary, when I'm trying to hit that 150-pound weight loss, I'll be walking at least, well, hopefully trying to maintain, if my body can handle it. Of course, my medical team will be advising me the entire way, 4 marathons a week while wearing a 70-pound vest and weight training about 4.5 hours per week. By the way, at this point, I would be doing around 9 hours or 10 hours of walking each Friday. So that it would basically be doing just over a marathon. Remember, the goal for the Austin Marathon 2025, which I've already registered for, is to have the full 160-pound vest and go nonstop, just like I did this last Sunday. But, all right, so that is the weight loss. But remember, weight loss is vanity. health is sanity. So let's take a look at the fundamental health stats that matter. 19.2% body fat. Remember, when I started, it was 40%. And here, let me just pause for a second. Let me quickly show you just a body composition shot here. So 40% body fat, this is what I looked like. Now I am slightly better than this, and 17.8% was the lowest body fat I ever recorded. That was when I was at my all-time best in the Army, 187 pounds, and I am approaching those levels with still almost 40 pounds to go. So back to it then. So body fat, that's fantastic. But remember, the most important kind of body fat, it's not what's under the skin, the subcutaneous fat, it's the visceral fat. This is where I started out with. 21% of my body was fat packed in and around my organs, squeezing on my heart, my liver, my lungs, basically suffocating me, aging me, and rapidly killing me. Well, single digits is considered optimal. I hit that a few weeks ago. Now I'm down to 8%. And the amount of visceral fat, this is around 1 to 2% optimal. You just need a little bit of cushion and for lubrication purposes, but I am rapidly approaching those levels. And here you can see muscle mass. I did lose 3.1 pounds and 0.2 pounds of skeletal for a total of 3.3 pounds, which means about 43% of this loss was lean tissue. But that's impressive because that means 60% of this weight loss was pretty much pure fat. Now, remember, when I do the weight training, the reason my medical team advises that is that you can then get 70% of the weight loss to be pure fat as opposed to 60. But still not bad for a week when I was unable to train for medical reasons. Now, take a look at this metabolic age. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this is. This is, after all, just, it's a $50 scale. But I started out at 42 metabolic age, now down to 38. So definitely moving in the right direction. BMR, basal metabolic rate, still 2250 is where it started out, well, at least according to the scale, and it's barely budged despite me losing 112 pounds in 7 months. So far, 78% of the weight I've lost has been fat because, of course, I started out with a whole lot of fat to lose. Blood sugar, 99. I'll be talking about my blood sugar in a Tips Tuesday episode. My blood sugar is rock steady, generally around 95 to 99 in the mornings, even fasted. But after I eat, it's still rock steady. I'll show you what I mean with an incredible pre-marathon feast. You will not believe the blood sugar control I have from a former diabetic. This is why my doctor calls this science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery. Now, systolic blood pressure dropping to 92, diastolic at 67. So that means my average blood pressure coming in at a record low, 75.3. And remember, when I started, I was hypertensive at around over 103. And resting pulse rates coming down to 64. It started out around 85. So all the health stats confirming what the blood labs say, or my doctor tells me that I am now the healthiest I have ever been, even as a child. Absolutely incredible. Now, let's take a look at the National Institute of Health body weight planner. So 206.7-pound male, age 37, 6'3", completely sedentary. Just pretty much going to get food, going to the bathroom, walking my dog. If I did no exercise and I wanted to achieve my goal of 168 pounds by my 1 year vegan anniversary, I would have to eat 1,614 calories a day. Now, this week we'll see in Diet of Champions update tomorrow. It was just over 2,000 calories. But this is, of course, the good news is I am doing a whole lot of exercise, around 250 minutes per day, which means that you can see what that does, increasing it to almost 3,000 calories per day, basically 21,000 calories a week. But with my nutritional and medical team, I'm at 18,500 with the plan to increase that 500 calories a week each week. And the reason that is remember that these green weeks represent an extra hour per week of walking, and each week an extra 3.1 pounds in that weighted vest, all the way down to 77 pounds by the week of my 1-year anniversary. So again, what I love about the NIH, this takes into account the glide path. As you lose weight slower still. And of course, remember, error bars can be relatively wide. This is why we track every week to make sure we're staying on track, but always staying safe. So 14% body fat. If we look at where the NIH says I would be today, the NIH algorithm estimates that I should be around 22%. Actually, I'm 2% lower than that. So what that means is, based on this, if I maintain my current level of activity, remember, I plan to ramp it up over time, I should be around 12% body fat. But remember what I told you a few weeks ago, where the goal I have is not necessarily the weight loss. Yes, we want to hit the weight loss, but the ultimate goal is to hit this 8% body fat and then gradually see what it's like to put on muscle, gain some weight, but target this 8% as large as I can get while still maintaining a healthy BMI of 24.9. So, I should point out, by the way, as far as BMI goes, 25.2, still technically overweight, but just 0.3 away. Now, remember, next week I expect, with the return of the full training, 2.5 marathons and resistance training, plus the weighted vest, this should mean I'll probably gain some water weight back, but really I still will be dropping fat, adding muscle. And remember, ultimately, this is an adventure to turn myself into that Captain America physique, but really it's about health, hope, and happiness. Now it's time for the weekly body shop. Each week, I recreate the exact same pose to put into the montage at the end of this episode, so you can watch me transform from a 320-pound, 40% body fat, sedentary, obese, junk foodaholic into Captain America. So thank you for joining me for this special edition Mammoth Blowout 8 pounds in 1 week while sick weight loss edition of Vegan Ultra. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a Blue Zone Vegan lifestyle. It's helped me to lose 112 pounds in 7 months. And as my doctor says, this truly is science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery that can help almost anyone become the ultimate version of themselves if you give it a chance and are powered by plants.
What did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. Life changes just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be